Well, here's what's coming up today on Western Sports Roundup. That lady, Pam Minick, one of the great givers in all of Western sports. She and her husband, Billy Minick, will join Justin McKee with a story about a brand new all-around award they are presenting at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We've got the details coming up.
And we're looking forward to that, as well as we're going to finally get to the results of where we spent the last couple of weekends here at the Cowboy Channel. Odessa, Texas, Sandhill Stock Show and Rodeo, where they finished up Saturday night, and we are going to showcase all the big winners.
And when we get done with Western Sports Roundup this afternoon, it's on to Dickey's Arena, night number 2, a Bulls Night Out at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. How'd it go last night? Well, Stetson Wright stuck a big score on a bucking bull. We've got all the details on the way.
Stetson Wright! Superman flies the highest. Superman knows no kryptonite.
Howdy, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday edition of Western Sports Roundup. And we're going to get right to the Kubota top story of the day. This is stock show season here in Fort Worth. Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo will have a wonderful new all-around award thanks to our friends Billy and Pam Minick. And surprisingly, we have not seen a real all-around award given in the past, but that's going to change thanks to their generosity and their love for the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Right now, I'd like to show you a statement that Matt Carter came out. He's the president and general manager of Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Talking about Bill and Pam Minick, they've been a part of our rodeo for decades. Thus, their financial commitment for an all-around award, new this year, for our professional rodeo athletes is a testament to their devotion. And we've got more. To Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, we are honored by their generous support, and we are honored here at the Cowboy Channel to have Billy and Pam grace us here at the network. Pam Minick always working behind the scenes to help us out, make things smoother. And as far as a power couple goes, I don't know if there is very many couples that have contributed more, not just to rodeo, but the entire Western lifestyle. Billy, Pam, welcome to the studio again.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure to talk about one of the greatest rodeos in the country.
Well, it's been our pleasure to tell your story. I know we did a Legends segment on you a few years ago for ProRodeo Tonight, and as we said, Pam works with all of us. She keeps us propped up one way or another, especially all of us in front of a camera, because she's the queen, and everything, a lot of the things that we do are handed down from you, so thank you.
Well, just what I love to do.
And your love for the stock show is at the highest level. This new award, Billy, why did you decide to contribute this way and honor the all-around champion at Fort Worth?
Well, Pam and I was at the breakfast table one Sunday morning, and I had it on my mind. I wanted to do something for the Fort Worth Rodeo and the contestants, because that's where I grew up since I was 7 or 8 years old. And I said, what do you think, Pam, about an all-around award? And instead of doing it where they just get a plaque or something, let's give them some cash. So it's $10,000 to the all-around, and we pledged it for 10 years. And a belt buckle, and the belt buckles are pretty unique. They're great, but we just wanted to give back. It was a part of my life for, 8 decades, really.
Well, I want to get into that, but primarily, if anybody appreciates an all-around talent, it's this lady, because she has been a great all-around competitor in the arena and all over town. You told me you were a part of 14 different boards at one time.
And still am.
Still, okay. What a great honor to recognize a great athlete at Fort Worth, and to have this going for over a decade. Really, it speaks volumes for where you are at the Fort Worth.
Well, what we're pretty excited about, too, is that this year there's 3, maybe 4 athletes that are in contention for it. Fort Worth qualification is a little bit different than, say, at Pendleton, where anybody can enter 2 events if they want to. But we hope that sometime a girl gets chance to win it too, because it's the high money winner, so it'll be male or female, so it'll be fun.
We're looking at Peyton Bray, who's entered the tie-down roping and team roping, Wasey Shala, of course, in the bareback riding and the bull riding, and Stetson Wright. Those are the three that you were talking about. But I want to go back to your earliest memories. You mentioned when you were 7 or 8 years old, you went to the Fort Worth Stock Show. You shared with me a moment ago a memory that is quite substantial, in my opinion.
Well, in 1947, that was post-war, my mother took me to the stock show, and we sat next to the last row. Gene Autry was there performing and rode his horse up on the piano. And I knew then I was going to be a cowboy or try to be one.
And then
this is a great picture here. This is Billy signing the contract for the Fort Worth Stock Show with all the other stock contractors. There's Billy and I roping at the stock show at a special Justin event. But he talks about, you know, his early love for the stock show.
There's Harry Knight.
Yeah, Harry Knight and Harry Vold. Great stock show memories. That's B61, Billy's famous bull that was out almost 900 times, only ridden 5 times. But one of the times that he was out was at the Fort Worth Stock Show. In fact, you retired him at the Fort Worth Stock Show. Yeah.
You've worn a lot of hats at the stock show.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of those.
Well, I started out when I was about 14, slipping in. Yeah, old man Mott, he caught me all the time, and he finally said, Minick, if you won't show these other people how to get in, I'll give you a badge. And I said, what are you going to charge me with if you catch me? He said, attempt to sneak. But we've become great friends, and I was raised around the Watt family. Yes. And I migrated to the stockyards when I was in high school, worked at Al White's Boot and Saddle Shop. That was next door to Letty Brothers. And Gene Autry would come in there and get his boots made with golf cleats on them.
Oh, my goodness.
20 years later, I wrote him a check for his rodeo company. It was called the Harry Knight Rodeo Company, but it actually belonged, the biggest part of it, to Gene.
Gene Autry.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But Billy was a competitor there
Yes.
in the 60s, and then started leading the Grand Entry in the 70s as the rodeo producer. So, and then we both became on the board of the stock show, and various volunteer positions, from steer sale to the kids that don't get their steer sold in the big sale, the Agricultural Development Fund. There's just so many great parts of the stock show for our entire community and what it does to Fort Worth. But we really wanted to recognize those all-around athletes and make this special, because when you watch Pendleton on the Cowboy Channel, you watch Cheyenne, everybody talks about the all-around award, and we want the athletes to talk about the all-around award at Fort Worth.
Well, I think they're going to. And I know with you, both of you, with a lot of creativity, that buckle's going to be spectacular as well.
Well, Fort Worth did the buckle, but we kind of throwed holy water on it. But we're looking forward to it. Yeah, I think it can build, and we'll make decisions in the future whether we need to just double it or. But I want to see someone win that before I go down the trail somewhere else.
Right?
Yeah.
And Pam, we were talking about there's a chance that there might be a 4th contestant in there.
Right.
With Thane Elsher, the rookie rally is going to send somebody into the major part of the rodeo.
Thursday, somebody will get to go to the rodeo from the rookie rally, and if it's Thane, then he's entered in 2 events, and so so he'd be eligible as well. But you got to be competing and win money in 2 events in order to get it. So hopefully, like I said, in the future, Montana Circuit had an all-around champion cowgirl this last week.
Yes.
So that might happen at Fort Worth.
Okay, looking forward to seeing that possibility. Out of all of these decades, and you both were on the board for the stock show for 30 years, what keeps you going back and contributing at this level?
Well, for me, number one, it's a great rodeo. If you watch it in person or on TV, it's just produced so well. There's no dead time. As you know, you've been there and you've seen it. You've done Western Sports Roundup there. They take production to a whole new level. And then what it does to our community, I mean, it brings in almost $200 million to this community. And with us having a business in the stockyards benefits from the people that come to see the stock show.
No, it really does. Billy, what's your favorite memory of your involvement?
Well, I'd have to say that when I come down that wall, the first time it's forward leading the grand entry, that had to be the most exciting thing.
He gets teared up when he says that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it was quite a deal.
I think because Fort Worth is such a great representation of the cowboy way of life and community, because community is a big part of our life in this culture. You know, neighbors helping neighbors is still alive in the cowboy world, Pam.
Well, and in our area, it's a great stock show. Even when you take it away from the rodeo to the steer sale, when those kids sell a steer at Fort Worth, they get 100% of the money.
Yeah.
That makes Fort Worth unique.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's the most detailed rodeo in the country. I mean, it is class, and we're just very fortunate to spend my life there. And of course, Pam come along 43 years ago. Of all the honky-tonks in the world, she walked into mine.
Well, speaking of honky-tonks in Fort Worth, we cannot not mention Billy Bob's in this interview, because you guys are still involved here at the stockyards.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Talk about an impact on the culture.
yeah,
Mercy.
I spent half of my life there under the neon moon.
Under the neon moon. Well, guys, I wish we had another couple hours to visit about your career and how you've been great contributors to not just Fort Worth, but the stock show, to rodeo, and to this lifestyle. And we owe a lot to you. And I love the fact that we're going to be able to continue your memory for many, many years to come.
Yep.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you
by.
very much. God bless.
I'm glad we got good neighbors like this just across the alley right here. So if you will stick around and continue with us to track the all-around championship and see who's going to win that $10,000 prize. And Billy, Pam, thank you much. We are going to talk about some champions at Great Falls coming up, and that is the Montana Circuit Finals. Also, Bulls Night Out last night at the stock show. We had some tremendous rides, some big scores, and a great start for some young bull riders picking up great position and momentum in the world standings. Stick around. We'll continue in just a moment.
Western Sports Roundup brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of cowboys everywhere. We live it every day.
Final, you get to go to the NFR Open later this summer in Colorado Springs.
Second in round one, third in round two, $8,077 total. Saddle Bronc riding, Sage Newman had a great Montana Circuit Finals. He won all three go-rounds, obviously won the average, 262.5 points on three, and oh, by the way, $13,000.
Holy smoke, you talk about domination. Sage Newman puts on a show. Now, I'm gonna be real honest right here. Sage Newman hasn't looked like this in a while. You know, everybody has ups and downs, mountaintops and valleys, kind of been in the valley. This is the mountaintop where he belongs.
Yeah, he was 85.5, 89 in round two, 88 in round three, and I agree, Sage Newman belongs among the elites in the saddle bronc riding business. Now let's talk about the breakaway business and the breakaway roping. And speaking of being in the elite class of ropers, Joey Williams, the national finalist from Bollberg, Montana, riding a horse of the year, Baby Bullet, and she stops the clock awful quick 3 times.
Yeah, no matter what she's riding, she's actually on the sorrel horse.
Yeah, she's on the sorrel here. She's not on the baby.
It doesn't matter. Boy, they look great. Can't wait to see what she does if she continues to do greatness here. But she has missed everything with a rope in Montana.
Yeah, mom of 3 who happens to be an absolutely terrific roper, 7.9 on 3 head, over $8,000. Let's go to the tie-down roping, keeping it in the roping box, and Dylan Honkamp, 36.5 on 3 head, $7,342. Kind of like the team roping. He was first in round 2. That was the only go-round he picked up a check in, but he ended up winning the average.
You know what I love about watching him go, as we were talking about the highlights earlier, it's the hustle right here.
Yeah.
You have got to have the highest level, but in control, and that's what he had. Hustle in control is going to get you championships.
Yep, absolutely, and it did. Now he punches his ticket to go on to the NFR Open in Colorado Springs in July. So let's go back to the ladies' event. Taylor Jane Gardner in the barrel race, placed in round 1, first in round 2. As you watch her, the Canadian cowgirl you heard Will Rasmussen talking about in the highlights that we set up the montage here with, 39.38 on 3 head and over $8,000.
I love this horse. You can tell this horse loves its job and driving way up in there and around, but yet shutting that turn down, getting around tight. Good stuff all the way
That's
around.
not a big arena, and so you've really got to be able to keep those horses under control, keep them centered when they make that turn, keep that nice pocket, and she did all of that, and she finds herself, boy, do we sound like a couple barrel racers' husbands or what here? Let's talk about the bull riding. Gavin Knudsen from Montana. He's a college national finalist and 170 points on 3. He rode 2 out of 3. He won 2 go-rounds and over $11,000.
Yeah, this guy is really solid. Gavin Knudsen is a guy that's got all the skills. You got to draw good, and he did, but you got to finish it. You got to follow up and ride good. Sometimes those are the hardest ones to get by. He does, and like you say, big check is going to. Hey, don't forget that money counts in the world standings as well.
Looked at ProRodeo.com. I don't think they've got it all added in yet.
I know,
because there are a lot of people that probably should from the Montana Circuit Finals be in the top 15 right now that aren't. I'm so impressed with young Sam Peterson. He's 22 years old. Last year he qualified for the Canadian Finals, finishes one of the top 5, finishes second in the PRCA as a reserve world champion. And he's only 22, Justin. He doesn't know how good he is yet.
He is so young, and there's no telling what he's going to do. And I think a lot of people will tell you that he might be the guy to beat in the bareback riding. He's got a lot going for him.
Yeah. These rookie classes the last 3 or 4 years in the bareback riding in the PRCA have year after year after year after year been sensational. And we got another one shaping up like that in 2026, by the way. But Sam was a part of a rookie class from a couple of years ago that was just absolutely awesome. So that's what happened at the Montana Circuit Finals Rodeo. Let's talk about the professional bull riders in Milwaukee. And they had a big show.
It seems like the PBR Tour this time of the year just loves going to the coldest places, but they pack the house, man. They pack the house. I can't wait to show everybody the highlights from Milwaukee. We got some monster scores coming your way when we come back.
A chance to pick lights out.
Yeah, this is a great matchup.
Not only conquers lights out, he may have conquered Wisconsin.
I wish you could have seen Steve and me here in the studio. We're watching this highlight from the Milwaukee PBR over the weekend. We're both shaking our head at how amazing that ride was, and that wasn't even close to the biggest scores of the weekend.
Yeah, and there's a reason they call Dalton Castle Mr. 90.
Yeah, there is.
And it's bull rides like that.
Yeah, and he now has, well, we'll talk about that later. Let me talk about those 90-point rides. That was his 43rd 90-plus point ride, and you're going to see that coming up here in a moment. And boy, we have some guys that are pretty hungry to win a lot of money and maybe a world championship.
Yeah, let's talk about one of those guys, Hudson Bolton. Justin and I were just talking. Remember, he qualified both for the PBR World Finals and the NFR last year. I wonder how many bulls he got on in 2025. I think the answer is a lot. This is him on Ghost Ship Warrior winning the first round, 89.5 points. Justin, this kid's only 20 years old, but he's a really good bull rider.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he probably got on more bulls than anybody in the bull riding business, putting on a show right there. And you know you're young and tough when you can land on your hands and then springboard after that landing. It was impressive.
That was the first go-round win. Here comes the second go-round win. And it's a historic bull ride for Jess Lockwood, who, of course, is a 2-time PBR world champion, was the Rookie of the Year in 2016, a decade ago. It doesn't seem like it could have been that long. This is his 50th go-round win, winning the second round in Milwaukee. They're using that 10th-point scoring system now in the PBR, a score of 89.35.
Oh, he looked good, back to his old form. You know, he won the team championship a year ago, the youngest world champion in the PBR. He's had a lot of injuries, but boy, he looked 100% right there. for a big 89 and it's hard to say, 89.35?
89.35. Yeah,
Okay.
That's the way it goes. So now let's go to the championship round. And here's a man who's going to finish third, Alex Cerqueira. Beck's Red Eye is the bull. He makes an 80, here's another one's going to sound weird to say, 89.05 point score. For a little bit there, he was sitting in the #1 spot, maybe winning his first event ever in his career. He ends up in the top 3.
Yeah, and not only top 3 there, but he's also going to move into the top 15 in the world title race. So that was a big one there for the Brazilian Cowboy. Let's talk about the second place overall winner. Here is Colton Hevelo, and that is Best Tex Smokestack. That's one of my favorite bulls in the PBR. You know, he was a world champion in PRCA when Butler and Sons had him. Now he continues just to rock the house. 90.15, that's the bull everybody wants to get because you know you're going to be 90. How about that? That's a big 90.15, and he is elated.
Hevelo was the last bull rider to ride. He needed to be 90.3 to win because he needed that big score to beat this guy, Dalton Castle, on Lights Out. You just had a chance to watch it again. The 43rd, as Justin said, of Dalton Castle's 90-point bull rides, and he finds himself moving up to the #2 spot in the world standings, 92.55. What a bull ride.
Yeah, second win of the season. He goes 3 for 3, and the Mule Shoe, Texas, 27-year-old, gets the job done, and now he's on not just at #2 in the world, but he's within 2 points of Julio Cesar Marquez, and that is your official leaderboard when it was all over. Castle gets that win, and he also goes to the winner's circle, and here's that interview.
43rd 90 of your career. You move ahead of Mike White, Ross Coleman on the all-time list. Do rides like that, those 90-pointers, mean more to you as well?
You know, it's something that I expect out of myself. It's not something that I just get super pumped up whenever I'm 86, but whenever I'm able to step over the 90-point mark, it is special because I expect that out of myself each and every weekend.
Is it a goal of you to surpass everybody and be the king of the 90 points?
Well, I got to live up to the name, so
there you go.
I can't have that name if I'm not being 90 every once in a while.
So Mr. 90-point ride continues to dazzle and amaze. There's the updated standings for the World Championship.
Look how close it is. Of course, we're really early in the Unleash the Beast season. The finals will be here in Fort Worth in May. But Julio Cesar Marquez, 279. Castle, 277. Marco Rizzo, 242. Sage Kimsey coming off that big showing in New York at 217. And Brady Fielder in the #5 spot. And all of them are within one good event of jumping into the #1 spot. Again, it's early on in the year, but it looks like we're going to have another one of those right down to the last bull type races for a PBR world title.
Oh, it's a tight race indeed. And when we come back, we'll talk more bull riding. Up next, it was a Bulls night out at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, the first of 2 nights, and they too put up some big scores, including Stetson Wright.
Time on both the Cowboy channel and on our YouTube live stream, giving you even more ways to stay connected with us and to the world of Western sports. Join us. Western Sports Roundup is now on YouTube.
That it is, and we continue with great headlines and stories to back them up. Last night at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, it was a Bulls night out. And it was a great one. And we're going to start off with some of those highlights right now with the Iowa Cowboy. There's a couple of these rigging riders. Last name is Shippey. They both ride good. This is a Smith ProRodeo horse called Lightning. And that guy right there, I think we're going to see a lot of highlights from him this year, too.
Yeah, 79 points. That gets him into the money. They paid off last night, $1,950 for Riley. He's the younger of the 2 brothers, and you see him actually taking that outside foot out just a little bit, Justin, to go ahead and give him the judges something to look at.
There was a rash of that going on at Dickey's Arena last night.
You're saying we're going to see that again?
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of these guys tune up them bulls. Here's one going to the right. Luke Mackey has got him right where he wants him. Of course, he was in that rookie race last year, and what a national finals he had. And he continues here in 2026, just where he left off at the NFR. Remember, he's only 19 years old, and he was 3rd at the National Finals Rodeo, top 7 in the world standings. And this is Sullivan, and Sullivan says, Uncle, calf rope, I give up. I can't get this guy off my back.
Yeah, the scary part is the part where he's only 19 years old. Luke Mackey. Trey Benton, he is somewhere in his 30s.
Not 19 years old.
But you know what? Trey Benton putting together a heck of a ride right here. Bull called Dirty Money. There was a real big jump. Number 6, Luke Mackey, was 80.
Yeah.
Trey Benton in the number 5 spot, 86.5. This is a $2,500 check for Trey Benton, and this is vintage TB3 right here. That bull comes back away from his hand. Look at the way he balances himself with his free arm. Everything about this ride was good. And Trey Benton the third, yeah, keep at it, Cowboy, keep at it.
I mean, nobody looks any better when they find that sweet spot. Let's go to a Kansas Cowboy from Mound City, Kansas, one of my favorite little towns in America. Misunderstood from Frontier Rodeo Company. Top 4 last night in round 1, 87 points for $3,400. Beautiful ride right there for the man who finished in the top 35 of the world standings the last 3 years.
The only reason Colton Byram is not more of a household name, he's had some injury issues.
Yes, he has.
That have kept him on the sidelines and kept him from getting done what he is capable of doing. But $3,400 right there for Colton Byram, great bull ride.
Speaking of injuries, I don't know if any bull rider out there has had to endure more than Tyler Bingham. He makes comeback after comeback after comeback, including last night on Ray Lewis.
Yeah, and look at this, 87.5 points. They're really bunched up at the top, except for Stetson Wright, we're going to show you in a minute. Utah showed up and showed out pretty well.
They did.
Tyler Bingham on this Ray Lewis bull, away from his hand, and Tyler Bingham, man, oh man, if you're looking for control in a bull ride, that's what you're looking at right there. Tyler Bingham coming back off of another injury, $4,200. Hayes Waite might have thought he was going to win the whole thing for a while. He's about to stick an 88-point ride on a bull right here.
Well, you would think that might work out. Century Products from Frontier Rodeo Company, 88 points to finish number 2, and he's fired up. A guy who has had a real serious hand and wrist injury, did not have the NFR like he wanted to have, and this is a dream start come true for a guy that's got all the potential on the planet.
Yep. So speaking of a guy that's got all the potential on the planet, say hello to Stetson Wright. He was one of the last bull riders to nod his head, and all he did was make a 90-point ride. Pete Carr ProRodeo Bull E2, $6,300. Stetson is getting dangerously close to $4 million in his career.
Yes, and we're going to talk about that on Inside Pro Rodeo. That is some rare company. Matter of fact, when he does that, he's going to be second to Trevor Brazil for the most money ever. Trevor's got over $7 million. This guy's going to go over $4 million probably this week.
Yep, and so there you take a look at it. Stetson with a 90, Hayes Waite with an 88, Tyler Bingham, Colton Byram, Trey Benton the third, and then Luke Mackey and Riley Shippey. Neither one of them put together big scores, but there's a championship round that they're trying to get into, and if you can hang on and get into that clean slate top 10 tonight, you got a chance at winning some really big money.
That's right. Well, let's catch up with Stetson, talking with our very own Katie Lucas last night after that 90.
Bulls out here are smart. How much was that bull switching things up when he knew you had him covered?
Well, I noticed watching videos coming into this, he'd step ahead, and so I made sure to run my knees up in him, and I mean, it worked out great because he kept stepping ahead, trying to rip me down, and yeah, I was just super happy to draw him. Billy's been holding him, he made the NFR, great bull, but I mean, it's a great way to start the night. I love Fort Worth.
This is a very different year for you at Fort Worth this year. Last year, you were sitting out in the parking lot just waiting for a shot to compete. How good is 2026?
Oh, 2026 is amazing. That's what I told everybody when I walked in. I said I got in this year.
Yeah, they certainly had you on the list this year, and for good reason. He is your reigning champion, and he is back for another title.
Steve, watch it. When that bull stops his spin, hesitates right there, moves forward. Are you kidding me? That is the most impressive, actually it wasn't even a recovery because he was never out of line. That was an absolute beautiful job keeping flow when the bull was trying to throw flow out the window.
Maybe a better word than recovery would be reaction.
Reaction, yes.
The way that he just continued to stay with the flow, go with the bull, and never missed a tick.
Bull riding is all about counter moves, except even when you do that right, that counter move usually doesn't work, and he does it all the time.
Yeah. So Stetson was 90. He finds himself in the number 1 spot. Hayes Waite is one of my favorite young men on the planet. I'm just going to be really honest.
So likable.
Just always got a big smile on his face. He had a reason to have a big smile on his face last night. He was 88 points. He had a chance to talk to Katie.
Well, we saw a great performance from Hayes Waite last night in the opening round of Bulls Night Out here at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. We're going to get to that in a moment because I know that was a huge deal for you because of what you had to go through to get back to this point. Take us back to August, Hayes.
Well, it actually happened in July, but I rode that Magic Touch of Phenoms in Salt Lake, and on the dismount, my rope wrapped around my thumb and just tore both the ligaments, so I ended up having to take up all that time off and rush into surgery, so I was going to be cleared for the finals. So it was a battle against time.
Yeah, it certainly was. You got cleared just before the finals, and you'd even considered riding with your offhand instead. How much did you have to battle that mentally to think about going into the Super Bowl of rodeo with your wrong hand?
Well, at the end of the season, I actually went up to, not the Governor's Cup, but the Rough Riders Cup and got on left-handed to try and make a little bit of money. It didn't go well, but I knew I could do it, and I knew it was all just in my mind. So I just was praying to God and giving it all to Him and just figured whatever His plan was, and I was going to go regardless.
Had you ever ridden with that offhand before?
Yes, ma'am. I tore my shoulder out in the summer of 2020. I was going to a lot of open bull ridings and just wasn't making a lot of money, so I switched hands because my shoulder kept coming out, and I made some money, but ultimately I ended up getting my shoulder fixed and switching back. So I knew it was possible. I knew it was doable. It just had to take some time and train for it.
And you told me, too, with the timing, when you got to the National Finals Rodeo, you just didn't have the strength that you needed. What was it like trying to battle through those go-rounds with no strength in your riding hand?
Well, it's hard mentally because, you're getting on the best bulls in the world, and you know that going in there. And I had about a week and a half to prepare getting on right-handed, and my doctor was even a little worried, but he said he knew how big it was, so I had to go. And so we got some braces made up for my thumb and just was praying and giving it to God and hoping to get some road. And just showing up every day and trying my best was all I could do, so that's what I did.
And you certainly showed up last night. You told me before you got on your bull, you're feeling about 90%. You got to be feeling about 100% today.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, there's some soreness in there, and that's going to happen, but that's what I needed last night. I hadn't rode but 2 bulls with my right hand since getting cleared for the finals, so it's been a tough mental battle, but like I said, I've just been giving it to God and putting in the work and trusting it's all according to His timing. And to have it be here in the first round, I mean, it's a staple, and it's just a big move for me to be able to gain that confidence, go to the next one.
Yes, gave you a lot of confidence going into round 2. Tell me about the bull that you have. How is he going to look out there, and how are we going to manage that hand?
He should be really good right there in the door around the left, and should fade out there a little bit. But I've seen a couple guys get by him, and I've seen him buck some guys off, so he's the real deal. But I know if I just put my hand in there and go get it worked on and loosened up, I just got to give the rest to God and go out there and put it out of my mind for 8 seconds.
All right, well, best of luck with that big plan. Congratulations on the great ride last night, and happy to hear you're feeling better all the time.
Thank you.
Hayes Waite has been battling through that injury to his thumb for the last several months, but safe to say he's looking pretty good out there now.
Here's a question for you, Justin.
Okay.
How many times have you seen a bull rider, as you take a look at Hayes' numbers from a year ago, bull rider, bareback rider, bronc rider, roper, I don't care, somebody competing in this sport, just need one good showing to break out of whatever little slump, whatever injury issue.
Right.
Hayes Waite was 88 points last night.
Well, and there's a big multiplier on top of that scenario when you make a high score at a major.
Yeah.
At a major. I know it's not the Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo, but it's still in Dickey's Arena. It's still in Fort Worth. It's still at the Stock Show. It's still a major, so that was even bigger than what he hoped for.
$100,000 bull riding,
Yes.
and it's a great opportunity. We'll see what happens tonight. Stay with us. As soon as we're done with Western Sports Roundup, we're going to Fort Worth for Bulls Night Out. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back over the weekend, Sand Hill Stock Show and Rodeo. Odessa, Texas. There was a 1-5 in the breakaway roping. There was a 90 in the bull riding. We'll give you all the stories coming up.
Over the last 2 weekends here on the Cowboy Channel, the folks at the Sand Hill Stock Show and Rodeo in Odessa, Texas has blessed us with a lot of great rodeo action. They had the first weekend, well, it was a couple of weeks ago, and then this last weekend, their second weekend, after taking a break with a lot of slack. And they always do an amazing job. And you know the new season is well underway when they kind of officially kick off the new calendar year of 2026. Now, you and I have been prepping for Inside Pro Rodeo, talking about a Triple Crown Award. Can anybody win 3 world championships like Wasey Shala and Stetson Wright almost did? Well, we are well on our way. Wasey Shawley gets the win of the bareback riding at Odessa.
Yeah, 89 points on Guitar Town. That's an NFR horse of the Butler & Sons. And look at this spur ride. That is exactly the way you take that video and you take it to any bareback riding clinic in the country and you say you ride like this, you're going to get a lot of points and a lot of money. Wasey Shawley doing his job and doing it very well in the bareback riding. Let's go to the steer wrestling. Justin, one of the potentially really good stories of the year, Bray Arms. Last time he qualified for the NFR was 2014.
Yeah.
He went back to back to back, 12, 13, and 14, won the average in 13. Look at him, 8-4 on 2, he wins Odessa.
Well, he's 44 years old, and he's been, now that his kids are almost grown up and going to pro rodeos, he's like, I'm going to go back with them, and his wife enters the breakaway roping as well. And look at this guy, wins the first round, wins the aggregate, $4,285 for a man that is a real cowboy.
Yeah, so let's talk about the team roping now. And team roping, of course, they have that big Super Tuesday roping in Odessa. Dustin Agaskis on the head side, JC Flake on the heel side. They partnered up halfway through the year last year. Dustin made the NFR, JC did not. Was that not a Justin Agaskis throw right there? Right over the front of the gate and turned left immediately. Nobody gets it out of his hand as quick as Dustin does.
And he can do it fast. $6,500 a man. They won the first round with a 4.5. And when they put the money into the world standings, they're going to be real close to #1 in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Saddle bronc riding. Q McWhorter is from California, and he's off to a really good start on this rodeo season. 87 points right here. Butler & Son horse called Identity. $4,160. Watch his chin. He's looking up at the lights every once in a while, but he just kept spurring.
That looked like a bareback ride, the way his head's snapping right there. Mistaken Identity, Butler & Son. They've got a superstar right there. Congratulations, Q McWhorter. He's been on our radar for a while. He was the intercollegiate champion a couple years ago.
Yep, so now let's talk about the breakaway. Don't blink or you're gonna miss this. 1.5 seconds, boom, right there. Mackenzie Dowell, $5,805 for 1.5 seconds worth of work.
That is as near a perfect run as you can imagine. That 1.5, not only the fastest for the rodeo, but I wonder, Steve, how will that hold up for maybe the fastest run of the season? You talk about start your year off right and give you a busload of confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. So can she keep doing that? We'll find out. Let's talk about the tie-down roping. You know, there have been 2 or 3 names we've talked a lot about in the tie-down roping. Riley Webb, Chad Mayfield, Haven Medjid. Can we throw Kincaid Henry into that conversation? He wins the roping in Odessa, 17-7 on 2, $6,102.
Yeah, you know, when I think of Kincaid Henry, I think of Sam Peterson in the bareback riding because we didn't talk about Sam enough because we had Rocker going on and Dean Thompson returning.
We don't talk about Kincaid enough.
Same thing because of Riley Webb and Shad Mayfield. This guy deserves it. He gets the headline and $6,000.
Finished 3rd in the world last year, been to the NFR 4 times. Here is the best story of the NFR last year.
Oh, my goodness.
Julie Plord, 16th in the world. Anita Ellis gets hurt. She moves up. She wins the aggregate at the NFR on this horse she calls Rocky, the French-Canadian cowgirl, right back where she left off last year, 14:38 to win the rodeo in Odessa.
Man, Julie and Rocky taking on all contenders. You want to line up, you're going to have to beat her for the win. Little bitty thing right there, too. That little jockey knows how to get him around. French-Canadian cowgirl, really making some tracks.
And she's headed on to the semifinals in Denver as well. So now let's talk about the bull riding. Boudreaux Campbell, 5-time NFR qualifier, spent some time in the PBR, was a PBR Rookie of the Year. Now he's back in rodeo, and he's saying he's going to stay in rodeo this year. Why not? He just made a 90-point ride right there.
That is a good-looking ride, and man, that Sour Patch from Powder River Rodeo Company, he delivers the goods, and the judges loved it. 90 points for nearly $5,000 for the 27-year-old. Congratulations to Tyrell Tatum, the steer roping champion. Here comes that full screen right there. And to Slade Wood, the all-around champion.
Yeah, and Slade Wood, by the way, if you take a look at ProRodeo.com right now, is #1 in the all-around race. He's been a national final steer roping qualifier and an intercollegiate team roping champion. He's only in his early 20s. Yeah. Keep your eyes on Slade Wood and see what he can get accomplished in his life.
Now, stick around. When we come back, we have the National Western right in the middle of their bracket play. Little past halfway, we'll show you and update you the latest from the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo in Denver. back to Western Sports Roundup. That's a look at downtown Denver. Isn't it a beautiful city? The plains to the east, the mountains to the west, and right off of downtown is the Denver Coliseum, home of the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo, where they have been redeveloping that whole area in and around the Coliseum, and that stock show is still on the grow after 100 years or so.
They embarked on a reconstruction, rebuilding project around the Denver Coliseum, I think almost a decade ago.
Yeah, they've been working on it a while.
And they've been working on it consistently ever since then. And when they get that thing done, it's going to be something unbelievable, I think.
Yeah, they have had their eye on the future because we got to continue to tell the great story of agriculture in America and around the world. Here is some of the results from Bracket 6, Round 1 last night. Cole Reiner ready to rock, 81.5 points, and that's just what he needed. 5-time national finals, missed his first NFR this last year.
Yeah, but I had a chance to visit with Cole a couple of weeks ago, and he's pretty determined to get back. So Cole Reiner in the #1 spot, bracket number 6. Second performance is coming up tonight. Ty McClary will be here in studio. Rhett Witt in the steer wrestling, a time of 4 seconds flat. He is from Ballantyne, Nebraska. You watch this run one more time. Gets a pretty nice haze and goes to the nose and throws him on his side in a hurry. 4 flat, it was 4.9 was second, so it was a soft round. He's got a really good shot at coming back.
And he's a qualifier. He had to went through that qualifier tournament to get in there. Here's the world champions, Andrew Ward and Jake Long, showing you how they got the gold buckles, doing it upright. You know, they won nearly $800,000 as a team. That sounds better than $380,000 piece, I think. But they looked great last night.
Yeah, they really did. That was a good run for Andrew Ward and Jake Long. So now let's go to the saddle bronc riding. There was a tie, a Canadian and an Oklahoman. There's the Oklahoman. That is Roper Kisner from Ripley, Oklahoma, making an 81.5 point ride on a horse called Capone from Bailey ProRodeo. Roper put a nice ride together, so did Dawson Dahm. He was 81.5, the kid from Tomahawk, Alberta, Canada.
I love saying that. Tomahawk, Alberta. I'll say it again. 31-year-old Dawson Dahm putting on a show. Good stuff by a couple of guys getting some pretty good numbers right there. 81.5 apiece.
Yeah, so let's talk about the tie-down roping. Matt Peters, Hot Springs, South Dakota. In a field of ropers that included national finalists like Michael Otero and Shane Hanchey and Brushton Minton, Matt Peters turned in the fastest time at 9.1. Brushton Minton was right behind him in the #2 spot. But Matt Peters, if he can do that again tonight, he's punched his ticket to Saturday in the semifinal.
And did you see the shot? That calf moved hard left under his horse's head. He couldn't see him, just knew where he ought to be, and he had the target laid out and gets the job done. Let's go to the barrel racing, and how about left-hand turn? To me, is a good move in that Denver Coliseum.
Well, and so here's the thing, Justin. Coming into the performance today, there had been one time faster than 15. This is Brittany Fellows from Weatherford, Texas. She turns in the single fastest time of the entire rodeo, of 14:71. And then following her on the very last run on the ground, Dr. Kathy Grimes, who went to the NFR in 2017, was a 14:91. So we went from having one run faster than 15 seconds to 3, and Brittany Fellows got a great chance to come back.
You got a great left-hand horse. That's the place to take advantage of that. That center gate is not in the center. It's off to the corner a little bit toward that first barrel on the left. Let's go to Tyler Kippies, and that is Bigfoot. 83 points for the Stephenville, Texas Cowboy. He's 22 years old, and he looked like he owned that bull and had been on him 100 times.
Yeah, you want to talk about the way you sell tickets to your rodeo? Have the very last guy in the bull riding jump out and stick one on one. And that's exactly what Tyler did. So here's a look at your bracket leaders. After the first go-round of bracket number 6, go-round number 1, Cole Reiner, good to see him back. You see Andrew Ward and Jake Long doing their thing at a 4.5. Brittany Fellows made an amazing run. The thing that was amazing about that is it looked so smooth. It didn't look near that fast. But she lit him up, and it worked. And we'll do it again tonight with the bracket number 6 performance number 2.
Time to clean, treat, and heal. Here's your Vetcherson top 3. Oh, what a great announcement today on Western Sports Roundup. Billy and Pam Minick are going to sponsor a new all-around award. It's a $10,000 award, and they're going to do it for the next 10 years.
Dalton Castle, 3 for 3 in Milwaukee. Mr. 90 was 92.55 on his final bull to win the event. event in Milwaukee. That's the 43rd 90-point bull rider of his career. And in Odessa, Texas, Wasey Shala, he waited until August to get in the top 15 in the bareback riding last year. Let's see if he can do it a little quicker this year. Mackenzie Dowell with as fast a run as you're ever going to see in the breakaway at a 1.5. It was a great rodeo. By the way, congratulations to our friend Randy Corley.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame announcer. He has been the voice of Odessa for a long time. This year was his final year. Randy, you have been a gem. You've been a jewel. You've been an icon. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed your final year in Odessa.
Well said, partner. Thank you very much for that. Let's take a look at some of the programming coming up. As Steve mentioned a moment ago, Bulls Night Out, night number 2 at 7:30 Eastern Time, live on the Cowboy Channel. As soon as we're done, Tom McClary's moving in, taking over, and walking you through Bulls Night Out.
And there's a brand new show, brand new opportunity. Yep, that's my friend Justin McKee. It's called Inside Pro Rodeo, and I'm excited to see what you're bringing to us tomorrow. Excuse me, on Friday.
Yeah, coming up on Friday. I'm excited about our conversation we're going to have on that show. Matter of fact, talking about that Triple Crown. And we've got some great stories that include Creek Young. And my goodness, our time has flown here today.
It really has. But we're not done because Ty McClary's about to take over. Both from Odessa, or from Fort Worth and from Denver. For Justin McKee, I'm Steve Kenyon. Thanks for watching. God bless everybody. This is Western Sports Roundup.